Greetings, commanders. Welcome on in to our Anti-Xeno combat stream. It's been a long time since we've done one of these, and tell you what, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get some more ranks in the old Anti-Xeno Initiative. I'm Zach, one of the community managers here on Elite Dangerous. I'm also joined by another one. We've got Bruce Garrido. How you doing, Bruce?
Hello, Zach and '07, everybody. So pleased to be here yet again on stream and very happy to see you all. Yeah, we've got a nice stream lined up where we're going to be doing some AX combat with a couple of special guests. So, yeah, very excited for today's activities.
Welcome on in. We've got Heather in the chat. Hello. Hello to all the other mods as well. We've got Jones the Film, 07. We've got Toll giving an exclamation point Bruce straight away off the bat. Nice. 07. We've got Reenie, 07. Have you got anyone on your side, Bruce? You wanna give a quick 07 too?
Sure, lots of '07s in the chat. We see the Burr Pit, MPAC, Thachinho. Hello. Yagashura is in '07. JSB. Many people saying hello. Welcome, one and all.
Nice. A couple of people asking about drops. There are no drops on this stream, but we'll let you know when they return at some point. Okay, so without further ado, I will just cut straight into our gameplay. We're just at the minute chilling in a system outside a nice fleet carrier. So I don't know, who this fleet carrier belongs to, but if you're here watching the stream, we've used this fleet carrier today to restock CW0B. If that belongs to you, thank you very much. But so it's not just us, as you can see at the top in the old team HUD. We are also joined by two members of the Anti-Xeno Initiative. If you're on Twitch, exclamation point Axie in the chat. We'll give you more info on that. So we're joined by Commander Mekan and Commander Toyotanos. Now, Toyota, you're going to have to tell me when you introduce yourself the best way to pronounce your name. But welcome both.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Zach. It's great to be here.
Same. Thanks, guys.
That's all right. Welcome on board, Toyota. How is it? Go on, give us the pronunciation.
You were pretty good. Toyotanos is the way that I pronounce it, but
Nice.
pretty much everyone.
Toyotanos.
Everybody likes to shorten it to Toyota, so either way is fine.
Works nicely. Yeah, welcome on in.
Indeed.
Thanks for joining us. This is the second time that I've played some Anti-Xeno combat with Axie. Bruce, is this your first time, or on stream at least, or is this you done this before?
I have played with Axie before, but I don't think with either of our current two guests.
Right. So it's worth noting, chat, that I have already gained ranks in the old Anti-Xeno combat. So I would say I'm quite a proficient and skilled Anti-Xeno pilot. I'm joking.
The man does
you are,
everything.
Zach, and we're looking forward to getting Bruce his first rank.
Yeah.
And for, commanders that may not be familiar with it, the Anti-Xeno Initiative maintains a system of ranks on its own Discord server where basically as you get better and take on progressively harder fights, for example, fighting a Cyclops solo is your first solo rank, and then you can progress all the way up to eventually maybe one day even taking on a Hydra alone. That's not something many commanders have accomplished. And we recognize those achievements with colorful ranks on our Discord.
How many, I guess a rough percentage, if you know off the top of your head, of the people in your, in Axie have got that Hydra solo?
It's about 200 people. The total number of commanders who have sold Cyclops by comparison is about 2,000. So out of all commanders who have gotten their feet wet into AX, if you will, about 10% have gotten all the way to be able to solo Hydra.
Nice. Okay, so I guess a couple of questions before we get going. Can one of you give us a bit of an idea of what is the Anti-Xeno Initiative for someone that's new to the game or wants to maybe think about joining a group in the game? Can you give us a rundown?
Sure. Maybe I'll start and Toyota can add on top anything I may have missed. But the Anti-Xeno Initiative is a community of commanders that have gotten together to essentially study Thargoids and the art of Thargoid combat in particular. It was started 4 years ago by our founder, Gluttony Fang. I personally joined about a couple of years ago. And through the years, we've built a pretty significant set of assets pertaining to everything Thargoid related, everything Thargoid combat related. We studied and perfected builds of different ships that cater to different skill levels. So we have builds for beginners, we have builds for more advanced commanders. We have several tutorials that help people understand what Thargoid combat is about and how it works, and helps them ease into the fundamentals and basics of what it takes to get into these fights. We see Thargoid combat as the end game PvE combat of Elite Dangerous, and we also see it as incredibly fun. So it's a lot of information to help get people into what we feel is like one of the most enjoyable activities within the game that we love, while also building a community around it of people who can fly and enjoy this activity together.
Mm-hmm. That's nice. There's some people in the chat who are very much thinking that Thargoids are not the enemies. So this might not be the stream for you, Serpenstein, and some and a few other people in there. You're welcome to have your own opinion, but this stream may not be suited for your own viewing.
It's, a legitimate point of view. I think once you get hyperdicted while carrying guardian materials and the Pleiades, you might realize that Thargoids aren't always so nice to you.
Yep.
But you'll find occasions where they kind of mind their own business, and they'll find occasion where they get interest. For example, I am carrying meta alloys today in my hold, as we will be trying to do something interesting further down in the stream. Thargoids have a particular interest in meta alloys. They will give you a warning and intimate you to drop that cargo, and if not, they will be hostile and attack you. So I understand the dialogue. I think there's a legitimate conversation about all that, but up until we find Thargoids that are hostile to mankind, we feel that it's our duty to rise to the challenge and fight back.
Yep. Makes sense to me. Right. So, I guess let's get started. We can keep talking as we go. If we're not currently focusing on trying not to die. So, how do we? I'm assuming one of you two is now going to find us a Thargoid. I actually have something you provided for me, which I'll quickly switch to on the stream. Can you give us a quick overview of how you come across Thargoid?
Identifying which ones are of interest, you can use a nav beacon if a system has one, or, and what we found recently is that there's an even faster way to identify them using the full spectrum system scanner. Using a full spectrum system scanner, you'll notice that there's a cluster of signals that represent non-human signal sources on the scanner tuning row. That cluster is actually a superposition of two separate center frequencies. The one on the right-hand side are Thargoid interceptors alone, or occasionally empty instances. The one on the left, on the other side, are Thargoid scouts, or scouts with an interceptor combination. So if you're out to just specifically look for individual interceptors, what you'll want to do is you want to move the tuning point of the FSS just to the right, so that only the Thargoid's interceptor sources show up. That will allow you to find interceptors very, very quickly without even having to use a nav beacon to identify the sources of interest. Once you identified those, the threat level determines what is in the instance itself. Cyclops show up in threat 5, Basilisks show up in threat 6, Medusas in threat 7, and Hydras in threat 8. So depending on what you want to fight, you would head to the threat level that is matching your intended target.
Mm-hmm. So, Bruce, this sounds like an interesting theory. How long did it take for you to I know a lot of research went into this, right? I seem to remember when it happened a few months ago when this was discovered. It was like a huge moment, right?
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it sped up quite significantly the identification of these fights. It was based on a hunch. I mean, the fact itself that signal sources work this way has always been there. The point is, nobody ever noticed it until a few months later, and then Commander Xarian of the Anti-Xeno Initiative went through a painstaking process of actually gathering a lot of hard data, and then Commander Orlando, who is one of the two resident artists of our group, made the beautiful visual, which I believe you may have flashed as part of the stream.
Yeah, super good. Right.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. So, Bruce, before we get started, I guess, guys, whoever's looking, feel free to now start searching for a Thargoid or whatever. Bruce, before we get going, it is worth pointing out that if if you are enjoying this stream, Bruce, there's some you might want to get involved in some Thargoid shenanigans somewhere else in the galaxy, right, Bruce?
Yeah, definitely. So for those following the narrative in-game, a Galnet article was released today describing the recent events. So the Cornsar system has been attacked by Thargoids. So if you're interested in helping out, you can do so in a variety of ways. A couple of the stations have been heavily damaged, so you can go help out there and or look for Thargoids in that area. It should contain several non-human signal sources.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that there will be more of those non-human signal sources tomorrow. So things are just getting started in that system. Right, so we're ready. We're ready to go.
Right. We found what we call a guaranteed Cyclops instance. When you look at the signal sources, if you notice that the signal sources has 3 icons next to its name, including a salvage icon, that instance will always be a debris field containing a lone interceptor and some salvage. If the icon instead is a more traditional icon that has a single icon, there's a bit more variety with regards to the instance type. That's typically a green cloud type of instance, which may or may not contain a solo interceptor, so it's somewhat less guaranteed that you're going to be able to find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
However, now we have this guaranteed instance, and I'm closing in range, and I should be in drop range in a few seconds. So if you want to navlock on my wing beacon, we will soon be in the instance and meet our friendly Cyclops.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I'm ready to go.
Okay, almost there. And we're flying 2 different ships. Toyota is in a Chieftain. I brought a Challenger. I believe Toyota has a Xenoscanner, and I have a shutdown field neutralizer. So we're getting a bit of a good complement of equipment for the fight at hand. I'm in the instance, and the Thargoid is coming to scan me.
Okay. So that's a good talking point then. In terms of ships, if I'm new to anti-Xeno combat, what would you recommend? Maybe not the most expensive ship, or how do I get started?
So that's a good question. Thargoid combat is very, very difficult, and it is generally not recommended for unengineered ships or ships that sort of aren't kitted for the task at hand. In particular, you will need Guardian Gauss cannons to even be able to significantly damage the Goid. The other Guardian weapons have issues that make them, let's put it this way, more difficult to use. So we have 2 recommended builds. We have the Alliance Chieftain and the Crate Mark II. The Alliance Chieftain is also somewhat cheaper. You can get a fully kitted AX ship in about 70 million credits with a Chieftain. The Crate Mark II is a bit more expensive. It is probably an easier ship to start with, as it is more forgiving. It's more tanky. It has more DPS. It also has a lower skill ceiling, however. It's not as agile and maneuverable as a Chieftain. So net, if you're going to be in an AX combat for a significant period of time, investing in a Chieftain and learning to use a Chieftain is probably your best bet. If instead you're planning to just give it a try and you're not quite sure and you like an easier ride, then chances are you're better off with a Crate Mark II to start.
Right. Makes sense. So there's a few people in the chat who noticed that I did a loop. It wasn't a loop of shame, it was a loop of scouting out the area. That's what it was.
Recon loop.
Yep, a recon loop. Right, I'm in the instance. I can already kind of see that some things are happening.
We are just kiting the Goid waiting for you at this point, and
Okay.
Toyota is flacking the swarm, reducing it to a lower side and more manageable. So we are generally ready to engage at this point whenever you're in range. So I will let you guys do the honor. Why don't you open fire with your Gauss on the Goid, and I will join in.
Okay, you ready, Bruce?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So I've got a beam laser that's going constantly as well.
Yeah, generally when you're firing Gauss, you don't want to use the beam because it's counterproductive. It overheats you and makes you more of a target for the Thargoid. So
In that case, should I turn the beam
you
off?
exerted the heart. Well done.
Nice.
Now
Nice.
it's a matter of destroying the heart. And the Cyclops heart is relatively weak. So just a couple of like well-placed shots like this result in the heart being destroyed.
Okay.
Now it's going to do what we call the lightning chase. It basically turned its shield on, and it triggered its lightning attack, which it will try to use on me, and I will try to see if I can bait it, which I sort of did. Not completely dodged. It did actually zap me somewhat, but I managed to get out of range enough so that it didn't do the whole duration of the lightning itself.
Yeah.
The lightning special attack is particularly dangerous to shielded ships because lightning does a lot of damage to shields. It does not do nearly as much damage on hull, so unshielded ships are generally less prone to taking like specific damage from lightning. But even some of the biggest ships, like cutters, can lose their shield entirely by getting caught by lightning of some of the tougher Thargoid variants. And you exerted the next heart. Good
Nice.
job.
I'm a bit overheated, Bruce. I don't know if you can try and take out the heart.
I can try.
And you got zapped, but it kind of like...
I got zapped a little bit, yeah.
There you go.
I think I'm okay.
Second heart is down. So the pattern now changes. It's not going to do its lightning chase after the second heart. It's instead going to detect you and launch caustic missiles at you. Those annoying missiles cover your ship in a caustic material that will do sustained damage to your models.
This is what got me last time.
Yeah, if you do get caught into that thing, which you might have, actually.
Yep.
What you want to do is you want to overheat your ship to burn it off. So you want to basically, without using a heatsink, you want to fire gas just in an empty space and intentionally overheat your ship until it burns off. It generally happens around at 190 to 200% heat.
Yeah,
so and then you pop a heatsink and you take it back down.
Right. Then I pop a heatsink.
Yes, because sustained heat is not good for your modules and not good for your ship.
No. Right, so I've done that. I used silent running at the same time, which
silent running
helped or didn't help. I guess it took my shields out, which is bad.
Yeah, that's a problem with a shielded ship in silent running. It will knock your shields down, so it's a bit more situational. Silent running is a great tool if you're flying like I am in an unshielded build.
Yeah.
In a shielded build, it has its limitations. And I saw you exerted again, so well done on that.
Nice, that's ball Bruce. I'm miles away at the minute.
Okay, so this is the third out of 4 hearts. At this point, the Thargoid is going to use a different special attack, which is its shutdown field. If you stay close to me, I'm using a field neutralizer, and hopefully I protected everybody.
I think we're okay.
Right? Good. And I got caustic, so I'm burning it off. I burned it off, and I'm going back to my heat. This is the last heart. After this heart, it will just do its usual caustic attack like it's been doing earlier on.
Yeah.
The interesting thing once all hearts are destroyed is that it's the Thargoid's hull regeneration will be turned off. Which means that at that point, you basically have a relatively easy ride to finish the fight because it's no longer going to regenerate its hull, unlike it's been doing for the duration of the fight, while its hearts were still up.
Right, okay.
Exert it. And then after we kill this heart, I recommend we keep shooting because we can kill it without actually having to wait for the next shield. It'll make for a faster kill. There you go.
Nice job.
And now what we're going to do, as soon as we get the bomb and explosion, is we take a screenshot of this. So we can then post it in our ranks awarding channel for Bruce to get his first multi-wing ranking. So congrats on earning your first rank, Bruce.
Let's go.
I barely contributed to that. I was too busy trying to sort my ship out. Well done, Bruce.
So something to be mindful of is now that we've killed the Thargoid, the cloud forming around it is caustic and will inflict your ship with the caustic damage.
Don't want to be near that.
5 kilometers is the safe distance.
So we were successful in that fight. If you want to make a Thargoid bobblehead, you can also pick up the heart that is in the middle of the cloud. But that heart itself is corrosive. So unless you have corrosive cargo racks, I suggest you don't do that because it would not be nice for your ship. We've done very well in the fight. I suggest we go to a nearby carrier to repair and rearm.
Probably go to the one that we were at earlier if it's still there.
That one was pretty far. It was over almost 1,000 light seconds
Oh, we got
away.
a close one.
Like,
Yeah, I'm looking.
any of the carriers that have Axie in their name are generally open for business. Like we can go to a Tempest, which is Aaron Stormrage, one of our very best commanders.
Oh, yeah.
Not our best commander, in fact, in terms of just raw skill. Let's go to Aaron's carrier. Let's go to a Tempest.
So,
it's at 62 light seconds away.
Is this a good point to ask chat about Toyota's not plea, but I guess challenge that he's almost put on himself? Because we got to go back to a fleet carrier and we've got to find another Thargoid. Maybe this is a good time, Toyota. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, by all means. This is a great time to open it up.
Right, chat. So, Toyota has suggested that he can take down a Thargoid in any ship. He'll be able to help us take out Thargoid in any ship, and he has them all available. So, chat, what ship should he use for this encounter, for this next encounter? Let us know, and then we'll feed it back. No chance.
I already know exactly which 3 ships are going to come up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious too.
Lots of haulers coming in. There's the overwhelming majority so far. Type 6, Type 9.
Just let me know which one you guys want me to fly, and I'll pick it up.
If Hauler is popular, we have a Hauler esports group in our Discord that is making a point of using haulers to fight Thargoids in a sort of competitive way. So I can't see the actual chat right now, so I don't know.
A lot of people
what's coming up.
Initially a lot of people said hauler, now people are sort of mixing it up a little bit. We've got Imperial Eagle, Asp Scout.
Mm-hmm.
SRV.
Hauler's still the winner so far.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say. Still time to change your mind though, folks.
I'm going to do another recon loop because I wasn't paying attention.
No, always good to do some recon.
Yep.
See what's around.
It is a beautiful system, this system.
We call it the Zoo, which is short for Hydra Zoo. It's the most target-rich environment in the Pleiades.
Yeah, the system.
Bombers. I was going to say, so this is one of your go-to systems when you want to do some combat. You just, it's going to be a rich area for Thargoids.
Yes, It has a lot of signal sources and they're relatively accessible, so it makes for a great destination if you're looking for pretty much anything. It is also the only system that spawns solo Hydras in the Pleiades. Don't ask me why. That's actually a good question. Why is this the only system that spawns Hydras in the Pleiades? I have no idea, but it is. Only in this system can you find Hydras without accompanying scouts.
What are our chances of taking down a Hydra? There is 4 of us.
Oh, chances are good. It's probably just a little time consuming as solo fight is for a Hydra is generally 55 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
In a group, you can cut it down quite a bit, but even a dedicated group will generally take, at the very least, some 15-20 minutes, and that's when they are really gunning for it. Also, it requires synth of ammo or trips back and forth from carriers, as you'll need quite a bit of ammo. Those things tend to be pretty big ammo sponges. So my suggestion, while Toyota goes and picks up, not sure which ship he is picking up, would be to go and find something a bit more time efficient, given what time we have.
Makes sense.
And rather, in honor of another part of our community, which instead loves multi-gloid fights, use the meta alloys that I'm carrying to spawn a second Cyclops, an additional Cyclops.
I like that idea.
When you feed, essentially you drop 5 or more meta alloys around a Thargoid, and the Thargoid scoops them up. That will trigger a frameshift anomaly and Cyclops to jump in. Again, not sure what's going on. Probably they're figuring, as we know, they love meta alloys, so it might be a little bit like a signal to come and see what's going on. There's lots of meta alloys here. You can only spawn 1 that way. it doesn't work multiple times in a row, so you can't create instances with 20 clubs or so. But if you're just looking for a duo fight, that works very well.
Sounds good. Right, Bruce. What did the chat suggest? What do you think was the overriding?
I still reckon Hauler is out on top, I would say. We did get a good range of suggestions, but yeah, I reckon that was the winner.
Hauler it is.
Already.
Well, I'm ready to go.
Yep, me too.
I just launched and I'm looking for a target.
Plant release confirmed. You have liftoff.
So how many various ranks do you have overall in the AXI? How many badges of honor can be claimed?
Ooh, that's a good question. So we have 4 times 2 plus 1, 9 progression ranks. We have essentially each of the variants on your own, each of your variants in a duo, and then we have quadruple vestige, which is any variant in a group of more than 2. Beyond progression, so once like for commanders who have even managed to take on a Hydra or gotten close and are looking for an additional challenge, we have what we call challenge ranks, which are essentially fights that are made artificially difficult for some reason or another. Like, for example, Soaring Sleipnir is a rank awarded to commanders who manage to kill a Medusa with their HUD turned off, which is it's an interesting challenge. We have one of those challenge ranks is a speed rank. So you have to kill a Medusa in less than 12 minutes. Another is an accuracy rank. You have to kill a Medusa with less than 175 rounds of medium Gauss ammo. So you're essentially challenging commanders to accomplish a feat that sort of goes above and beyond just a simple combat. And we have, I want to say, I think 7 of those challenge ranks currently. The rarest is a rank called Snake Eater, which requires killing a basilisk using no guardian weaponry. So using only AX multi-cannons and AX missile racks. Now, the interesting thing is, it doesn't actually sound that hard on paper. You're like, well, it's just a basilisk. The thing is, those weapons do very, very little damage, and consequently makes for a very, very difficult combat run. So that rank, I think, only about 20 commanders have on the server. It's the rarest right now.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's one that maybe me and you, Bruce, could probably accomplish with a bit of practice. In time.
Look, the good thing about AX combat is that your skill really goes up as you learn in practice. There's, fundamentals like learning like how to build a basic ship, and then learning how to use heat sinks and stay cold, learning how to orbit the Thargoid, getting a hang of Gauss ammo. Gauss is pretty hard to aim. It's a hit scan weapon, but you got to be very precise, and that takes also some skill to learn. But those are all skills that you build and muscle memory that you build over time. And as you get better, the sort of complexity and difficulty of fights you can take on also goes up. It's a huge rush, I have to say, once you accomplish your next skill. Once you prove that you mastered the next variant up of an interceptor, it's really, really exciting. It's one of the moments in the game where you're like, wow, like I did it. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How friendly are the AXI to sort of new players? Well, I say new to AX combat and sort of helping nurture them and train them up, this kind of thing. Like if someone from the chat said themselves, I want to do some AX combat for the first time, how open are they to sort of mentoring and helping show people the ropes?
It's a very fantastic mentor of our mentor catter. I was going to pass one to Toyota.
So when it comes to being new to AX combat, there's a lot of things you need to know that are not spelled out for you. That's why we have the mentor rank in AXI. I am one of the mentors, and our goal is to teach recruits or any pilots who want to try AX how to build their ship for great success, how to fly the ship, what weapons to use, like the entire width and breadth of AX combat is not easy to understand, and that's what us mentors exist for. So the first thing is getting your engineers unlocked. The second thing is having enough credits to buy your ship, and like all of this stuff is information that we have that recruits can ask freely anywhere, and a lot of the members will help, the staff will help, the mentors will help, but it's awesome. Like I remember probably a year and a half ago when I joined AXI, it was intimidating because it's a really hard form of combat, but it's really exciting. And you don't know what to do, but then there are helpful people there helping you. So me being a mentor is just something where I want to return the favor to AXI, because if it wasn't for the mentors and the staff, I wouldn't be able to do this type of combat, which is just a blast.
Sure, that's really nice to hear and very reassuring, I'm sure, to anyone who's interested in joining. Especially that what you said about helping people get what they need to start in the first place. So, you know, if someone doesn't have the engineers unlocked or hasn't got quite the credits they need for a beginner build, I like that you're offering sort of advice and help with that as well, even.
Absolutely.
Because there is a sort of threshold for sort of entry, isn't there? It's not like you can start immediately.
All right, I have found a Medusa, by the way, if you want to drop on my wing, and I'm in the process of feeding it meta alloys so that we can have others join the party as well.
Nothing
Sounds
like
good.
diving into the deep end.
Cassini says, are you in open play? We're not actually today, we're in a private group today.
So when I dropped in on the signal source, my supercruise dropped me on top of the Thargoids. So right now it's in a threatening stance where it's deployed the swarm, it's looking at me, it's like, hey, you, I don't like the looks of you.
Right.
So I backed off and I'm giving it plenty of space.
Yeah, now it kind of restarted. Hopefully it's going to eat some of these meta alloys.
I'm going to loop again. This is the third time. I need to stop playing.
Uh-oh, I think did you bump into the Thargoid, Bruce?
Yeah, I might have done.
It's not
I was trying to
agitated.
avoid it.
It's not angry, so it's just coming to scan me. I'll try to
The
get back to the
Thargoid
base.
scans you, and if you're carrying no meta alloys and no Guardian equipment, oh, there you are.
Hi,
Hey,
Brad.
Zach.
Hello.
So leave a Thargoid alone. I wanted to eat the meta alloys so that it brings a friend to the party. If it's just scanning you.
Scanning me.
We're
Hello.
feeding it meta alloys, and that's going to encourage it to invite.
Let's see if it goes. See if it goes to the meta alloys. If it doesn't, we should just start the fight. And yeah, it doesn't seem interested in the meta alloys, so I'm gonna just start the fight. And off we go. This is a Medusa, which is the third variant in terms of difficulty. Like the first one is a Klops, the second one is a Basilisk. This is a Medusa. The Medusa has the same speed of the Klops, but it's a lot tankier and it hits a lot harder.
Okay.
It also is the first variant that can actually launch the swarm in a ring formation. And I think we got a guy who got a little stuck. I don't know if you guys are seeing this.
Oh yeah, he is stuck,
as
isn't
well. Yeah. So I'd suggest we kind of jump out and find a different one because I don't
he?
think
This would have been an easy target. This would have got my rank up even further.
It would have.
Yep.
It would have been. It would have been an easy.
You wouldn't have known
target,
any better if we weren't on stream. I could have sent you a screenshot. You would never have known.
Yes, the screenshot. Yeah. Well, we would have known because your hull probably would have been 100% and you would have used a silly low amount of ammo. So we probably would have noticed. But yes.
Okay, jumping out.
Yep.
At least this now we can try and get the meta allies working again.
I
Shall I go pick them
used up. I used.
Oh, we used all of them.
I brought 7 and I used 7. So let's just do see if we can find another guaranteed Medusa.
Well, since it's bugged, I have time and cargo space, so I'll just pick up the meta alloys.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
I mean, I'm looking for another one. Oh, I found another one. It's right next door.
Oh, nice.
That's very convenient. There's 2 minutes left, so I'm gonna go to it relatively quickly, Toyota.
Sure. I'm being accused of cheating just because of my ingenious suggestion of how to get up the ranks.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been questionable in terms of like.
Certainly not a
Rank
very moral
solution
victory,
process.
is it, Zach?
Yeah.
It's,
That's true. That is true.
By the way, you're in the hauler, Toyota. Do you even have 7 tons of cargo space?
Absolutely there, Commander.
Really? Cool.
Yes.
Nice.
All right. So I have found another one. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do the
That's fine.
thing, Toyota. So I might tap it and see if I can do it before it gets stuck another time.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I have woken it up, and I'm waiting for you guys to join the party before I engage.
Okay, I'm not far away.
I am in the instance.
So here's a key concept of AX combat. I'm using a thermal vent beam to keep myself cool while I'm essentially orbiting the Goid. I'm not shooting at it, I'm just kiting it right now.
Right.
Right.
If your heat is below a certain threshold, the math is complicated, but it's roughly 20% as a good rule of thumb, then the Goid cannot lock on you, and basically it'll shoot sideways, missing you. That allows you to effectively orbit the Goid while shooting at it, and it's the basic principle of what we call cold orbiting, which forms, I would argue, the backbone of AX combat established technique.
Yeah.
All right, do we have everybody in the instance? Toyota's still joining with his
Oh,
hauler.
the hauler. The hauler's still on the way.
Hauler's on the way. Hauler esports, as we call it.
Oh, my shields are down. I'm in trouble.
All right, so I have aggro, but you need to keep an eye on the swarm because the swarm tends to switch targets relatively freely. There's
Yeah,
Toyota's hauler. Hello, Mr. Hauler. All right, so now we can go in and then start our attack run. So the Goy just finished its rearm cycle, so now it's a good time to engage. And I'm engaging.
So, distance-wise, how far or close should we be?
Just
at
by
any
the
given
heat sink.
time?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Bruce. The effective range of Gauss is 3 kilometers, but the fall off is pretty substantial. The effective range where they do max damage of Gauss cannons is only 1.5 kilometers. So a perfect orbit, let's call it that, would be an orbit that never goes beyond 1.5 kilometers. But it's kind of dangerous to stay at that level because it's relatively easy for your orbit to stall, and the Goid can lightning zap you if you get closer to 800 meters, so it's generally not recommended to go that close at first. And one thing you'll see now, which is particularly unique of this Challenger, is, let's see if I can lightning bait first to see, and yep, I did. And I have Cyto Scramblers. Cyto Scramblers carried by this ship are only for the purpose of accelerating the shield decay. Thargoid shields decay naturally with a decay rate of 25 megajoules per second. So even if you don't shoot the shield at all, after a certain period of time, which varies by Goy type, the shield will collapse. You can, however, like we're doing right now, accelerate and shorten the fight by using pretty much any weapon really you want on the Goy itself. And I see Crazy Cosmonaut is getting hit, so I'll see if I can take aggro.
Yeah,
I managed.
They've been taking my shields down for the past 2 minutes. I think it's a swarm, like you said.
I think you had the Goid on you.
Shield's down.
Okay, shield is down. Now that the shield is down, we're ready to engage in another attack cycle. So
Too far away.
we're now firing on the Goid again.
Shields offline again. Am I taking caustic? No, I'm not. I think it's just
exerted
the
a
spawn.
second heart. And I'm afraid we are experiencing what you're going to get fixed in update 7.
Oh, are we? We've got an invincible heart, have we?
Yep. That one did not want to die. It'll die on the next exert. So
Well, it is worth noting, as you said, that should be finally fixed next week.
Nominal.
alright. Back to unexerted, so now we can exert it again. I think Toyota, you got aggro, or someone else got aggro.
It might be me. It's definitely me. My shields are gone.
Oh, okay, let's see. The problem when taking aggro is there's an aggro switch lockout timer, which means that after the Goid switches its target, it's not going to switch its target again for at least 30 seconds, no matter what you do.
Yeah, this could be the end of me. Maybe I can get out of range.
I think it's going for a rearm, so you might have been in the clear.
Yeah.
Swarm is on me currently.
There you go.
There it is.
Hard down.
Nice.
Also, this build, as you probably noticed, is shieldless. But I carry repair limpets, which gives me a very, very significant amount of effective hull, because like when basically I'm not shooting at it like now, I can just pop a repair limpet, and that's gonna do two wonderful things for me. Uh-oh, someone
This could be the end, chat. This could be the end, chat.
Swarm is missing me, is agitated. I'm going to reset.
I think I'm caustic. Let me
Save yourself.
Yeah, cook yourself.
Come on, Zach.
Right. I'm overheating. I fired my heatsink. Am I still? I think I'm still caustic.
Is it flashing green?
Yeah.
If it's flashing green, you still have caustic. You may have to overheat a bit more.
Okay.
Normally, 250% is an instant burn off, but sometimes you need to let it sit for a little while.
We did it. I used the silent running again.
Yep.
Good.
It's absolutely the most effective way.
And in wing fights, it's pretty common to leave to repair and rearm. Like, there's no rule that says you have to stick in a fight, like, forever. Like, if you need a breather, you can always say, hey, jumping out, be right back, and head to the closest carrier, get some new Gauss rounds in, and repair your hull, and come back for the rest of the fight. Like,
I'm only on 22% hull now, though, which is scary.
The interesting thing, one of the interesting things, which I think, by the way, is great game design, is the fight with a Thargoid gets easier as time goes by, because the amount of damage you need to do to actually exert varies depending on how much hull is left on the Thargoid. So the hardest heart to exert is the first one. The last heart is many, many times easier than the first to exert. So as you basically go, the fight goes faster and faster. And if you can kill the second heart of any particular Goid variant, you generally have the skill required to finish that particular fight.
Shield's down, by the way, if you want to go in for an exert.
I'm sifting heat sinks, but I can certainly join you for a party.
Okay.
Okay, off we go.
Oh no.
Exerted.
So, in terms of pip management, then, where do you tend to keep them and move them?
Oh, that's another good question. It really depends on the ship, and it depends on how many pips the ship needs to be able to fire its Gauss. Generally, when you're let's put it this way: as a general rule of thumb, you want 4 pips in your weapon when you're firing Gauss. Some ships can get away with less, but as a general rule, that's probably where you want them. And I just broke the third heart.
Nice.
So we are more or less like halfway through a fight. The Medusa has 6 hearts in total. now's a good time to pop another repair limpet. I also have modules that are not commonly used in gameplay outside of AX, which are called module reinforcement packages, or MRPs. The reason I carry MRPs is without a shield, your modules are exposed, and they take a lot of damage when most everything is firing at you, be it the swarm or the Thargoid itself. MRPs absorb and buffer a lot of that damage, so they get damaged instead of your precious modules. MRPs are also a lot faster to repair than your more traditional modules. So they're very effective in helping a shield-less build buffer the damage it would otherwise take to its modules. Another thing I'm doing right now is I'm using Synth to synthesize heat sinks because I run out of heat sinks. One thing about AX combat is you will run out of sync a lot. Heat sinks are pretty much vital to this kind of combat, and you're going to use many. Yeah. So the good thing is the materials required to synth heat sinks are very affordable. They're like grade 2 materials, and they're very cheap, and you can carry like 150 synths with a full stock of mats, so it's not a particularly bad grind to keep your heat sinks up. Ammo, on the other hand, is a lot more of a pain. Ammo requires Guardian components to synth, which means that for AX commanders who go for the tougher Thargoid variants, we often have regular pilgrimages to the Guardian site to restock up on materials to be able to have the ammo required to do one of the tougher fights. The Hydra is notoriously bad in that regard.
So you may have noticed that I'm not in the instance anymore.
I noticed there's only 3 of us.
What? Oh, I just realised I'm locked onto the wrong thing. Okay, that is why I'm jumping past it every time. That's 5 out of 5 loops of shame. I'm on the way back because I'm on 3% hull, so I need to repair.
Repairing is good. I think shield is down, Toyota, is that right?
Yeah, shield is down.
So let's start another party.
Okay, Swarm is currently agitated. Just sent a couple missiles, so I'm going to see if I can reset it.
I am engaging with Gauss.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to go repair as well. Taking a bit of a beating.
That's good. Like, I mean, it's pretty common to have to go to repair in some of these tougher wing fights.
%3 is still 2% more than you need, says Falco Duke. That's correct.
This is true.
Okay, broke the 4 part.
Gibbard81 says, can you actually shake off the swarm?
You can never really effectively shake it off. What you can do is, if you're very good at orbiting, and in particular a technique which is called boost orbiting, which is essentially orbiting on a permanent boost or near permanent boost, you can kite it very effectively so that it becomes more of a annoyance than a real threat or problem.
Right.
It is one additional thing you need to worry about. So in general, if you're fighting solo, you would use flak to destroy the swarm before you engage the Goid. If you're fighting in a wing, the swarm will generally not stay on a single commander for long, which makes using flak very difficult in practice. Which means that in most wing fights, commanders tend to ignore the swarm instead and focus on the Goid, which is what we're doing now.
Right.
And currently I'm playing with the Swarm, so you guys don't have to worry about it. And that's a reset Swarm.
Yeah, I do have the flak, but I'm pretty sure I can't. I'm just not using it at the right time.
Flak is definitely an art, more of a science. Like, you can do it, but it definitely takes practice to get the timing and aim correct.
Yeah.
Because the Swarm is essentially like a living thing. It doesn't want to die, so it's going to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge as much as it can. So if you can anticipate those turns, then you can flak it effectively. But if you can't, that's fine. But just be prepared to spend a lot of...
The shield is down.
Okay.
We are engaging again.
I'm on the way back.
You're in range, Toyota?
Yep.
6 out of
Sitting
6 as
right
Drexia,
behind it.
potentially.
Say again?
I'm probably going to
That's
do
it.
another loop of shame.
All right, 1 heart left. Last heart to go. This is the EMP heart. So if at this point it detects any one of us, it's going to fire the EMP. So you would generally try to stay clustered together. I just saw you jump in.
Yeah.
Accredited
Where are you?
astronaut.
I'm trying to find you.
Yeah, stay relatively close to me. I'm trying to come close to you as well, but I'm
Yeah,
orbiting basically in the opposite direction, so it'll take me a while to course correct and adjust my vector, but I'll be getting close enough. This is what we call the Goid sleep phase. The sleep phase is after you break a heart. If you stay cold, the Goid will just sit there and sleep for a bit. It will not trigger its special attack. This
Right.
effectively let us skip the EMP, as I was cold all the time. So
Should I not have
It
been
didn't
firing at it
finish.
then? And
no, it was okay. You can fire at it. It's just don't get detected. Is so long as it's not looking and pointing and paying attention to you,
Right.
everything's fine.
Got it.
I think I may need to save ammo at this point. So I'm gonna slowly drift out of its range. Its main cannon has a 3-kilometer range. Out of 3 kilometers, you're basically safe from the cannon. The only threat becomes the swarm.
Okay, that's an agitated swarm. So it
That-
just flew over
Me.
astronaut. Yep, that's fine though.
Do I need to
Yeah,
go
and
back
we-
through it again? Is that what you...
Nope, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I'm
And we use these weird terms, which I'm not gonna mean anything to commanders who are not familiar with. An agitated swarm is a swarm that someone has flown through at least once.
Yep.
When you fly through the swarm or let the swarm fly through you, the state of the swarm changes. And instead of just shooting its green gunshots, which are generally harmless, it will start shooting missiles at you. And those missiles do a lot of damage.
Right.
So the way you deal with that is you have to fly through the swarm one more time. That sort of resets the swarm into its baseline state, where it's shooting its green gun thingies at you instead of its missiles.
Yeah.
Yep, it should be reset now.
I'm already at
Alright.
56%.
I think its shield is down. So I'm moving in to engage its last heart. So we'll try what we did with a Klaus, which is once the heart is down, we will keep shooting, but we don't have enough damage or firepower, I think, in practice to be able to kill it outright. So we will have to deal with one more shield.
Okay. The swarm has definitely been my arch nemesis here, because it's taking... That and the missiles are certainly destroying my hull.
Yeah, I think we have another of those hearts that doesn't want to die.
That's okay. I also rammed the Thargoid. Probably not the best approach. I did it by accident.
Oh, well, if you did it by accident, maybe. But we have a discipline called speed running, which basically involves seeing how quickly you can kill one of these Thargoids. And that discipline actively uses rams as a intended technique. Rams are very effective at taking down the shield of the Thargoid. They do very little damage on the hull,
Yeah.
but they absolutely wreck the
That's good to know.
shield. And now I should put a repair limp because I took some missiles, which, as I mentioned, hurt. And see if I can reset the swarm too.
Yeah, the missiles...
Actually, never mind. I have the Goid on me, so I'll focus on the Goid for the time being. Exert it. Okay, keep shooting it, keep shooting it. While the shield is still down, keep shooting it.
I'm trying.
Shield is up, but now the fight is basically over. Now it's just a matter of taking down the shield and finishing the fight, which is going to be relatively quick.
Shields up, chat.
As
You
a
know what
matter
this
of-
means?
As a matter of fact, like, since we were talking rams, let's finish the fight. Never mind.
I'm
I'm
being
getting
attacked
kinda
by
like-
missiles.
Yeah, lots of missiles. I was going to finish the fight with ram, but then I'm at 56% hull, and since we have a glorious member who actually, as you probably recall, actually died on one of these streams,
Yeah.
and since I have probably the whole server cheering to see me die as well, hopefully, I will try not to give them that satisfaction and instead see if I can survive the fight.
Yeah, but see, at least this is a Medusa.
Yeah, so.
Come on, heatsink, reload.
Right, I'm back in the instance.
Okay, we're back. We made it. We
Welcome
made it,
back.
chat.
So then you will do the honor of finishing the fight once the shield is down.
I just deploy another heatsink. Okay, we're good. I get so
Okay,
panicked in these
good.
fights. Oh no, more miss.
So when we see that we have the Corsic missiles incoming, is there much we can do at that point?
I think that's where you meant to use
So-
the plaque, right? But
Nope, caustic missiles you generally run away from.
Right,
Yeah,
running
you just
away.
run away from them. Or you can do what I'm doing right now, but that's very difficult. If you have a fixed beam, you can actually snipe the missiles. Like, try to destroy the one that's chasing Toyota. And I got one, I think. And I got two. And I got three. So, but that requires a fixed beam, and
I
it's
forgot
very
to-
difficult to do.
we're in trouble, chat. We're in big trouble.
Alright, let's see if I can take aggro from you guys.
Oh no, my canopy is breached. I am
Good.
carrying the
the
Thargoid.
fight is
in the
basically done.
face.
Do you want to do the honors and finish the fight? It's probably got like 4 shots in it left before it dies.
Certainly try. Obviously, I don't have a HUD anymore, so it's all.
Alright. I'll lend you a hand then.
It's okay. I reckon actually.
There you go. Nice.
That's,
Nice. Well done again, Bruce.
Now, you could tell that was a
Oh, nice.
significantly harder variant, but it also pays relatively
yeah,
good
That
money.
was much
Right?
harder.
You got 40 million bond,
Oh,
which
wow,
pays for half of a chieftain. Like, you killed 2 of these, you paid for your chieftain.
Yeah. I think the first one was
Yeah.
8 million, if I remember correctly.
That's right. It's 8, 24, 40, and 60. The hydra is 60.
Yes. The Hauler lives, says Darth Vader. The Hauler does live. I'm sure the Hauler probably took less damage than me and Bruce during that.
yeah, I think it did.
I rebuilt the hull 2 times, so I mean missiles really hurt when you only have 400 health, but you know it's okay. I only have 1 Gauss round left, so I can call that a win.
Very well
Oh
done.
no, I'm going through the cloud. The worst
So-
thing I could do.
So yeah, this was a basic wing fight of a Sologoid. As you get more experience and as you sort of like also get the hang of it, like you can also take part into more challenging but also more fun activities. You can fight at mega ships where you will find a combination of different goids, multi-goids. When incursions are active, there's anti-Xeno combat zones, which put together a mix of scouts and a couple of interceptors together with NPCs and wing of commanders. Those are extremely fun fights, which, by the way, are also extremely good money, because like an AXCZ can yield up to 200 million, and often in a skilled wing takes less than an hour to complete. So with the boost that was given a few months back to the bounties for Thargoids, AX has become a very, very good moneymaker overall.
Nice.
Right, well, I'm burning up, and instead of trying to fix it, I'm going to just try and get to the fleet carrier. Because why not?
Which carrier are you headed to?
The Esso Club. Not the correct one, but it's the closest that I could find.
Let's see what other cars we have here.
We have Bar Harbor, AXI fleet carrier that's nearby.
I'm too close to the...
Sorry if I've butchered your name there.
Won't that melt the fleet carrier too? I don't think so.
Docking the mission will be granted following a successful eligibility check. Docking request accepted. Proceed to your designated path, Commander.
Nice, well, I would say I contributed very little to that, but we did kill 2 of them.
Look, you guys were in the fight. You were not shying away. You
I had to run
were
away many
taking
times.
risks. Well, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. You were in the fight. You were gunning for it. You were trying to do damage. You were taking risks. It's a legit win kill. Well done, guys.
Nice, well, thank you both
Hey.
for joining us. As always, it's great to at least try, Bruce, to do some some anti-Xeno
Hey,
stuff.
I think we definitely got some shots in.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
Contributed something, I reckon. So yeah, very pleased with that. I wasn't expecting to do anything beyond the first level of Goid. So yeah, I'm super
I saw
pleased.
landed plasma charger shots. That makes me happy.
That was Bruce, because I don't have any plasma charges.
They are a
Those
super
made
fun
some
weapon.
big explosions.
They look really good.
Yeah, unfortunately, the problem with plasma charges is their armor piercing level is very, very low. So, and their breach damage is also very, very low. So, what that means is they don't do a lot of damage against Medusas or Hydras, and they almost do no damage to hearts at all.
Right.
So it's very, very difficult to fight Thargoid using only plasma charges. And as you know, there's yeah. I mean, there's you heard. I think you're aware, Zach and Bruce, that we put together a memo on some suggestions on AX weapon rebalancing that could make some of these more weapons more commonly used by tweaking some of the settings so that they sort of like fall more back in line with the gold standard of AX combat, which is Guardian Gauss. Guardian Gauss works very well, as you could see from this fight. It's a balanced weapon. It still exposes you to threat because you have to get close to use it. It's a skill weapon. Like, it's hard to use, but once you master it, it's very effective. So would love to maybe see, as things may be considered, an opportunity to take maybe shards and plasma charges in a similar direction.
Yeah, all good. Right, well, I think that wraps it up for us today. As we said at the start chat, if you do want to find out more about the Anti-Xeno Initiative, !axi in the chat on Twitch will head you to their website. If you're on YouTube, just Google Anti-Xeno Initiative and they should pop up right there. Obviously, they have a Discord, which you'll be able to join via the website too. But yeah, thanks both for joining us. Bruce, I guess before we go, a quick, what's the word? Not an advertisement, but a sort of shout out for the Elite sports event that we're going to be doing soon, right?
Yeah, good reminder, Zach. So, in case you missed it in the last stream on Tuesday, I think we mentioned this. We're collecting submissions for a future Elite Sports stream. So if you fancy your skills in an SRV ship on foot or in an SLF, or any combination of those, if you've got some friends who are willing to help you out, we're looking for video submissions of stunts performed in those vehicles. We have ! stunt, I think,
that's all.
for our Twitch users. We'll take you to the page with all the details for that. For our YouTube followers, go check out the stickied thread on the forums for more information. Winners will be featured in the stream, and all eligible entries will get a SRV paint job.
Nice. Yep. So yeah, we're looking forward to that stream. That's going to be a fun one. So please do get your submissions in. So yeah, once again, before we wrap up, thank you everyone in the chat for joining us, and thank you over to our guests Mekan and Toyotanos from the Anti-Xeno Initiative.
Thank you for flying with us. Thank you for having us.
We'll be doing it again.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bruce, any words of wisdom to sign off on today's stream?
What about words of wisdom? Some thank you. So yeah, very grateful for our gracious guests who have helped us out there from the AXI. So yeah, go check them out if you're interested in anti-Xeno combat. They're going to be very helpful in getting you, helping you earn your stripes like I feel like I have today. Nice. Beyond that, just thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll catch you in the next one on Tuesday for the Super Cruise news.
Indeed. So until then, Commanders, have a great one. Fly safe. 07.
07, everyone. Bye-bye.